brother and sister, together we'll make it through. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, afternoon, or night, depending on what time you are listening to this or watching this. This is Melanin Mindset, a show that concentrates on mental health issues within the Black community. And today we are following on from our previous subject, which is Black business. So this is Black business part 2. And I'm joined with 3 special guests here today. So we're just going to start with introductions. So let's start with Kerry-Anne.
Hi, I'm Kerry-Anne. Did you hear me?
So what is your business, Kerry-Anne?
So my name is Kerry-Anne and I have a cleaning care company called Youre Care.
Right, okay. And Melus?
Yeah, I am Melus and I have a clothing line called Positive Vibes from 2020.
Right. Tyrone.
Hello, my name is Tyrone. I have a live music and concert business called The Whole 9 Bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, before we go any further, the first question I want to ask is: we're out of lockdown now, but we have previously been in about a year and a half of lockdown. How has that affected your businesses, or did you start your business during lockdown? Did anyone start their business in the lockdown?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
When did you start yours?
I started mine in lockdown. So at the start of lockdown, I quit my job and I was like, I'm not working for anyone ever again. And I started thinking of like what I was good at, and I'm good at cleaning and looking after people. So I just started working by myself, like doing a lot of cleaning, and I got all my contacts through like word of mouth. And by November, during lockdown, I had enough contact to like, start properly. And I registered a company in November 2020. And by December 2020, I was literally like on 6 figures just from cleaning. And because it was so important, so many people was like so depressed, and like having a cleaner, well, you were like the face that they saw, your only face that they saw. So a lot of people wanted cleaners during lockdown. And I just like shoot off from there.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So for me, I started my business before lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously like the tour and music industry has been hit pretty much like the worst out of like a lot of the industries during like coronavirus and whatnot. So what I kind of spent lockdown doing was finding other ways to actually create revenue streams. So like through like live streaming events, also through like diversifying the type of events that we do. So we're moving like more towards also doing things like your Crep City type of events. So like sneakers, clothing, exhibition events. And coming out of lockdown obviously is amazing because we're able now to like start booking shows again. Tours are coming back with certain like restrictions regarding capacities, but it's still making its way back, so that's good.
Okay, cool. And Melus?
Yeah, for me, I started mine in lockdown. So for me, it was a case of during the whole lockdown, I felt that things are not looking too good. No one knew tomorrow. There was sort of a bit of negativity all around, and I lost people as well during the COVID as well. So I just started thinking to myself that generally I'm a very happy person, and perhaps now with all this negativity is actually the best time to get it out there. But I wasn't sure on what to do to get positivity out there. I just didn't know. And then one day I just sat down and thought to myself, what's the best way to get it out? And I was like, seeing as there isn't much out movement happening at the moment anyway, then perhaps get some sort of positivity on people, stuff that they could perhaps wear. So that's where I was like, okay, how about clothing or, little accessories that they move around with? Because you can't go to clubs. I can't say I want to, do some sort of club party for positivity, because that's not going to work. So then I started doing a lot of research, and then I came up with a brand, and I was like, okay, what name to come up with? And I just simply said, well, Positive Vibes from 2020. So I just shortened that to PVF 2020. So that's how I came about, and I just started injecting some of my positivity and my positive feelings into clothing, into the designs, and because it's a print on demand clothing and accessories wear. So it was just basically all my designs, just bringing it out there and putting it out for people to buy and feel positive about themselves. A bit of cheek, a bit of fun, but that's it.
Nice. Okay, so Tyrone, you started your business. How long have you been going?
We started in 2018.
2018. What the whole nine months? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So we started in November 2018, 2nd of November.
Right. And both of you started, obviously, Kerry-Anne and Melus, you started pretty much in lockdown. So what I want to dive into, and Tyrone, you've got a bit more of experience, so this is more of a question directed to you. But what does it take? So when you're starting a business, the doubts, the risks, the fears, the restrictions, all of these things that come into play, the sacrifices. What was it like when you first decided, and what is it that took you over the edge to decide to actually go for it, rather than saying, actually, this is too much of a risk?
Okay, so like for me, even though we started on the 2nd of November 2018, I actually planned Whole Nine Bars from about 2016. So I spent a lot of time doing like background work, so to do planning, building relationships, networking, making sure that meeting the right people, also making sure that you started the right capital. As you know, a lot of businesses fail because of lack of capital within the first year. So we wanted to make sure that we had a really strong foundation before we stepped into it. So I feel like by planning, it kind of like offsets all of the fears, all of the worries, because I'm a big fan of like planning everything in detail. Because when you plan things in detail, I just feel like they flow a lot more easier. And so really when we first started, I didn't really have a lot of fears about the business. I was quite confident in it being successful, and carrying that through. Previous to that, we did start a bag line called Amshella, which is also doing very well as well. So based on the success of that, we kind of went into it fully confident, if I'm being totally honest. There wasn't really a lot of fears that we initially had, because we had planned for so long. So my key would be just plan. I think planning's everything.
And when you say planning, can you give a description of what does planning mean for someone like yourself?
So for me, that means setting realistic targets. So the first thing you'll do is look at your realistic targets, look at the market that you're in, look at the competitors. You want to look at where you're going to come into the market. You might be someone that wants to have like a unique selling point that's going to like kind of make you way more different than your actual competitors, or it might be someone that's really subtle. It might be just a price point that you're a little bit different on. But the most important thing is making sure you have the right amount of capital and your contacts, and reviewing your plan as well. Because a lot of people, I feel, you might write a plan initially, but 3-4 months time, the climate might change. So you have to always keep reviewing your plan, tweaking it slightly, just to make it easier for you to adjust as you're going along with it.
So as you mentioned, climate changing, that obviously happened with you with COVID. So how did you adjust? I mean, you mentioned that you've done a few differences, but how did that mentally affect you at the time?
Well, to be fair, when it first happened, I didn't think it was going to go on for that long. If I'm being totally honest, I was like, okay, cool. We're going to be out maybe like 2-3 months. So I had a few bookings with a few venues that just got moved back, rearranged for different dates later on in that year. Then, as we got later on in that year, and things got a bit more worse, I started to think, okay, so we're gonna have to start looking at different ways of actually keeping the brand going. So we looked towards things like live streaming, because as you know, everyone was sat at home, so the amount of people consuming content online went up a lot. So we focused a lot more on live streams. We focused a lot more on also making sure that our team was solid as well. So we looked at where we needed to improve. So we spent pretty much the whole of coronavirus just trying to improve our back office team. Like, so we got new people on board that's dealing with like digital design for like our stage production, our lighting, and also spent that time building more contracts for, you know, when we do come back around.
Right.
So really, we just used it as a time to prep.
Yeah, so a time to just I mean, a lot of people have used the negative and turned it into a positive or a time of reflection. Many businesses have done that.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, that coronavirus has actually almost been, obviously it's been bad for a lot of people. There's been a lot of losses, so that's been a really bad side of things. But the actual break and the ability to be able to like sit still and just like reflect and go over everything to do with the business and like where it's going and where we can improve and where we can restructure, that's definitely actually helped the business, to be fair.
Kerry-Anne, I want to ask you something, right? Just thinking in terms of the whole social distancing and, you know, X amount of people in a household and all of that. How was that for you trying to start a cleaning company or cleaning business? Am I correct in saying that you go into houses?
Yeah, I go into houses.
So how was that? Like, just trying to convince people, I guess, that let me come to your house and clean. Like, wait, did you have like mobile testing whilst we were going in? I'm safe.
So I was quite lucky. So like my first client, he was like the CEO of his company, and he had loads of tests and he gave me some. And then from that, I was like word of mouth, and the next client, and then I had all my little testing kits. And then from that, it was all word of mouth. And then I got a film contract. So I started working like just doing people's houses, but now I work on film sets. So now I have about 9 girls working on different film sets around Bristol. So from working on the film sets, obviously you have to have COVID testing constantly. So I was COVID tested 3 times a week. And so that enables me to go in people's houses. So because I was COVID tested, I could prove that I was tested. I could go into other people's houses because I was only on the film sets like in the evenings, really. So I didn't need to be tested. But it made everyone else feel safe that I was constantly tested throughout the week. So it was quite easy for me. Didn't have any problems. It's quite lucky, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, for your first client to be a CEO of a company and be able to spread the word. Really lucky. Do you feel like it was meant to be?
Well, yeah, like Tyrone said, I found COVID a blessing. Obviously, a lot of people died, but for me, it was a massive blessing because I'm originally an actor and that's what I want to do. Obviously, when lockdown happened, all my acting jobs got cancelled. So it was like a thing of how am I going to generate income for myself and my daughter. And and obviously cleaning came up. And I do feel like it was meant to be because I do enjoy doing it. And I would never want to do a job that I'm not happy doing. Mm-hmm. And I find cleaning quite therapeutic anyway. Yeah. So, and I like to talk to people and I don't like to be static. I hate being in the same place all the time. So I'm always moving around and I quite like that. So maybe it was meant to be.
Have you had any, I want to know if you've got any stories. Have you got any bad experience stories of going into the houses?
Oh God, I do every single week. Every week.
Don't say no names, don't say no addresses names or nothing like that.
I'm not even going to say anything, but God, like, you'll be surprised at the way some people live. You'll be really surprised. Like, there's people that dress up all nice in name brand clothes and they go into their house, dirty trousers on the floor. Like, you'll be so surprised. People are nasty. Like, humans are nasty. That's all I'm saying. They're disgusting. Especially like, do you know what's worse? It's the film sets. They're they're pigs on film sets because they're so entitled, these people.
Yeah.
I feel like they can just piss anywhere and do whatever anywhere. They'll literally piss on the floor and don't care because to them you're just a cleaner. And yeah, it's not, it can be horrible sometimes. It can be disgusting sometimes, honestly. The things I've seen, yeah.
Have you ever had, you know what, I just want to shout out Winston's Car Wash, right, whilst I'm here. Because the reason I'm saying that is because he was coming to do my car one time and he came and he came very late. And he said, I'm so sorry, it's just the client before me, I had no idea it was going to be that bad, right? And I've seen a video that he put on his Instagram page of the sort of, you know, the before and after and how it looked. And I was like, wow, like.
You'll be surprised.
And I said to him, actually, I didn't say it to him, I should have, but I thought, I really hope you didn't charge him the normal set price. Like, because when I looked at it, I said, I'm not doing that for less than X amount. Like, have you ever like been in a situation where you've gone into someone's yard and you've had to be like, hey, listen, yeah, we're gonna have to up the price for this because you're taking
every time. Do you know what I find? A lot of people are like surface cleaners. They clean the surface where people can see. When you open up the cupboards, it's like a different thing. Like I'm really put off eating from people now because you don't know what's inside the cupboards or what the oven looked like. I've seen some black and nasty ovens, and you'd think these people look clean from the outside. The oven looks clean, the fridge looks clean, but when you actually go in, it's nasty. And I've had that so many times. Like there's been times where like I say, okay, you got a three bedroom house, it's gonna take me 4 hours to clean, but I'm there for like 8 hours because when you open their cupboards, it's just nasty.
Wow.
And that's a difficult thing because once you give them a price, it's still hard to like say, by the way, your fridge was nasty, so I have to put more money on your price. Like it's really difficult to say that afterwards. It's really hard. So now what I do, I ask for photos before I go into their houses. I was like, I want photos. Yeah, so I can see what I'm working with, or I go and have a look at the house first and then price them. And I look in all the cupboards and stuff like that, because before I used to just go in like blindsided, and now I won't do that anymore.
Right. I understand that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to talk about barriers. Okay. So Melus, I'm going to come to you with this one. So what were you doing prior to starting Positive Vibes from 2020?
So prior to that, I was working in finance. So I've always been in different capacities. I would summarize myself as generally a financial consultant. I'll put it that way, because I've done all different sorts of financial roles, whether it be pensions, a bit of investment, complaints, insurance, several different roles. So that's how I would class myself prior to getting into the business.
Okay. And 10 minutes, but it's cool. So prior to that, you've come out of that field and you've decided to go into this field. What was the turning point for you that made you say to yourself, I'm gonna do it, despite whatever restrictions there could be, whether it's risks, financial risks, sacrifices? What was it that made you make the jump?
So for me, it's always been a case that I've always said to myself, we need to look for multiple sources of income. Mm-hmm. We can't just stick to just a normal one role. So I've always been looking for that. And I think what COVID did for me was that it really gave me the time to actually sit down and then think, look, the world is slowing down now. The world doesn't slow down for no one, but on this rare occasion, it has slowed down. Yeah. So now you need to make sure you jump on that ride and you ain't letting go. So for me, I just started thinking, I just started thinking of what to do. And then it hit me that, the negativity thing. And I was like, how do I, get it out there? And for me, I didn't have any worries. I guess I just looked at it and I just jumped into it. Obviously, there were, I think for me, it's a matter of mindset. Once you set your mentality to do something, You just go with it. So that was it. So after I looked around, I was like, I need to inject some positivity somewhere. And I was like, why not clothing? Why not the things people hold, the things people have, like mugs, shirts, jumpers, whatever? Let me just go for it. And so that was it. So then I did some research, and then I just went into it. I didn't think to myself, or what if it doesn't work, or like I didn't think none of that. Obviously, I had it in my mind that be aware that it could work, it could not work, but I just put that to the side and I just went straight for it. And then in terms of barriers, yes, there have been lots and lots and lots of barriers. For example, obviously, the first one was trying to set up a bank account. That was on another level. Like literally during the COVID time, no bank or high street bank would open account for you. They just wouldn't. Even banks that I personally have a personal account with, no one would. So eventually, due to shopping around, meeting new people, mixing with people, trying to obviously rub minds with people, obviously over the phone, because that's all you can really do. I eventually found out that there were bank accounts that could be open via all these fintechs and these online banks, which, to be honest, in my life before, I never thought about them. I mean, I've heard maybe a bit of Monzo, a bit of Sterling Bank and stuff like that, but I never even gave them a second thought, because for me, it's always the high street banks, Barclays, Lloyds. I want a bank that I can go into, I can see, I can feel, I can go and rant at the staff. Not that I do that, but but I didn't realize none of that was available. So then, so the bank stuff was a problem. Eventually, in the end, grateful to Sterling Bank, by the way. If they ever come across them, they were eventually they were good. So eventually, I was able to set up an account with them. At the same time, there were just other little bits and bobs of things that kept coming on, such as eventually I was able to get an accountant and then set up a company. So it's I'll say there are lots of issues, and then obviously looking at, because it's online, it's international. Mm-hmm. So you got to look at having the capacity to be able to receive payments from wherever in the world that it comes in electronic, because obviously there's no cash really going into it, because it's an online store only. So then a lot of banks don't do other currencies besides pounds. So I didn't have to shop around, ask a few people, and I found out that obviously I didn't have to create a PayPal business account, which would then accept different currencies, obviously, but it had to be obviously going through PayPal, and then I then had to then link that to my account, so that way I could then receive payments from wherever. So it was lots of tricky stuff like that, which you never really get told. And I didn't have, and I don't know of anyone who's doing anything like this or doing retail or anything at all like that. So I didn't have any experience or anyone to call upon. So just a case of me constantly researching, constantly looking around. And whenever I did see a blocker, I guess I was fortunate enough to think to myself that, you know what, we're just gonna do it anyway. And then somehow, either through maybe a friend, a family member, someone somewhere, somehow, you get a breakthrough. For example, like even with my adverts at the start, when I was trying to do them through, I had my cousin who just came up and was like, yeah, I'm in your bubble, so I could be doing your filming for you. And I even had my mom, my sisters, I was just like, wow, because normally I was thinking, how am I going to position the camera to start doing stuff? Or, so I think once your mindset is set on something and you are aware of the risks and the negativities, but you are determined that you're still going to go ahead through it, you will start seeing that things start to fall in place.
Melus, as you were saying that, you went through all of these difficult barriers just to get a bank account, basically. Kerry-Anne, I want to ask you, when you were starting, what were the core barriers that you faced?
So
what enabled you to pass them?
A lot of people don't know this, but there's actually the government actually got this scheme called People Plus Enterprise. I don't know if you guys know it. And it's where they help people that want to start a business. They have a mentor that guides them through the whole stages of starting a business. So I found out about this scheme and I applied for it and I got it. And basically I had like a mentor, this person that's been in business for the last 20 years. And they kind of worked with me every single week on Zoom on how to like write a business plan, how to do like basically how to do everything. And basically they did everything for me. I just had to fill out the paperwork and they did it all for me. So I was quite lucky. So anyone out there, it's called People Plus Enterprise, and they have like these little scheme, and within the first 6 months of starting your business, they give you like £60 every single week for 6 months, just in case the business don't like make enough money for you to live on or whatever. So I had that scheme, so I had loads of help. So they did everything for me. I just had to like attend the meetings and fill in the paperwork. So I had it quite easy. So
Okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Tyrone, you're a bit more experienced. You just heard Kerry-Anne talking about mentorship and things like that. What advice would you give to somebody that is at the starting part of their business journey, and they are thinking about the risks, they have the fears, they have the doubts? What advice would you give for them? And what advice would you give for these two here as they're at the beginning part of their journey?
What advice? I would definitely say mentorship's good. Like getting a good mentor is important. So like learning the right habits, making sure you stick to your processes. So like, don't be worried about taking shortcuts or about how long something's taken. It's more important that things are done properly rather than things being done fast. And I would also say, just planning and execution. As far as like fears and hurdles, these things are going to come with business anyway. So I don't really look at hurdles as a bad thing or fear necessarily as a bad thing. I think it's all to do with how you actually cope with it and how you handle it, more than anything else. Because you're going to learn from each experience. So just enjoy the journey. I think a lot of people take a lot of time to focus on like maybe the destination rather than actually enjoying the journey to the destination, because it's all part of the journey,
Okay, so that being said, right, support. All right, so talk about people support.
Yeah.
All of you, this is to all of you. How have you found being supported by your peers, by whether it's friends, family? How have you found that? Or has it been what you expected, or has it been lacking? No one want to be honest about this.
As soon as the lady started talking, I let her go first.
No, you guys can go first on that one. That's really, that's quite difficult.
Ladies
okay,
first.
So we're just gonna be honest, right? So
be honest.
In terms of family, I don't feel like I've had any kind of support at all. I was just quite lucky to meet like loads of really good people on the way, just through like talking. I talk a lot. But I do have like two really, really close friends, Amish and Kelly, and they have quite a few properties, and they're basically like every single week I'm kind of guaranteed I'll get a big deep clean with them, and they've been amazing. And my friends, some of them have helped me a lot. Like I can call on them, last minute to like help out. But I also find, and if you guys found this, I also found that I was changing a lot, and I was starting to see people's true colors. When you start doing a business, you see people for who they really are. I don't know if you guys are experiencing that. So now I'm at like a crossroads where I'm like, it's like the friends I thought were my friends, are they really my friends? Because, for example, like if I have like a clean, if I was working for my friend and say, for example, cleaning, I would want to make sure that the house that I'm cleaning is to a top standard, because that's my friend's company. I find that the people that help me out, they don't think the same way. So it's like, are they really my friend if they not want the best for me? Like if they want to go to a house and clean it to the standard that I would clean it, are they really my friend? Like why are they doing a botched job kind of thing? So now I'm like tackling with all that kind of stuff, and I'm really struggling, and I find that I've lost a lot of my people that I thought were my friends, I've lost them because I just don't feel like they want the best for me, or they like come to my house and they look at the things that I've got in my house and they just don't talk to me. I actually had a friend that came to my house and just sat down for like 2 hours, didn't speak to me, just looked around, didn't speak to me, and then left. And I was like, oh, okay. So in terms of support, I don't feel like I've had it from the people that I thought I would have it from, but I've actually been getting it more support from strangers rather than friends and family. I have family that haven't even, like, they will see me and be like, oh, you're doing so well, but they wouldn't share the Instagram page or comment, or, you know, but I see them sharing everyone else's Instagram pages or websites, or, but they would never do it to me. But they'll call me personally and be like, oh, you're doing well, but why don't you just have that same energy on social media? Or, do you know what I mean? I don't know. How about you guys? Just be honest.
I don't know. For me personally, if I really think about it, I don't feel like I've had a lack of support from my friends and family. I just feel maybe it's not their kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So, because I got a lot of great friends and great family, but it's just not something that they're really into. Obviously, my mum runs a business. My brothers all run businesses as well. So they've all kind of got their set thing going on. So I think my support system just came from more people that I met, like through the industry and through networking and through just bumping into like-minded people that kind of had the same thought process and vision. So I didn't really feel like a lack of support per se, because I had it from elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes you have to be the example sometimes. People to, especially in certain times like that we're going through, we have to have faith in something working. They need to see it probably working before they even like want to look on it too tough. So I found that I kind of built my team along the way, like along my journey, rather than starting with a team. Like in the beginning, it was just me, like postering everything. So sorting out everything pretty much. So yeah, I reckon I have been supported, but maybe not from where I thought it would come from. But I haven't taken it in a certain way, because I just don't think it's for everybody. Like people just, you know, show things in different ways.
Okay. Mr. Youre.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think obviously mine, it started with me, and I'm the founder, so it's still with me. But I think along the way, people have come along, and I think what it is I haven't actually sat down, to be honest, to really think, you know, have I got support? Have I not got support? Because I think mentality and mindset is very key to life in general. So if, like in my case, I saw something, I've been planning, obviously I didn't specifically plan to have a clothing line, but from day one, I've always been like, you know, one is not enough. I need something else to be coming in from somewhere else, whatever it's gonna be. And I have tried out little different things over time, obviously, such as, you know, having 2-3 jobs at a time and stuff like that, you know, or just trying to see, you know, what business plan I can have for something or another, until obviously this came along where I am now. So I've never really had that desire to sit down and have someone to support me or rely on that or think of that. Obviously it's great to have that, but I'm just saying, because my mindset was never really about the people around me, it was always just about me and my vision and my focus, and okay, look, I want to try and achieve another set of income, and I want to do something that I like, something that I love, something that is about me. So people may key into that, people may not key into that, you know. And at the same time, also based on your background and your surroundings and your circle. For example, if I'm not saying necessarily this is my situation, but I'm saying I've come to figure out that obviously it depends on your circle and your surroundings and your environment. For example, if maybe in your group of friends you're the only entrepreneur, that is going to be a problem, because everyone else doesn't get that vibe of what you're doing. So for example, you may be, you know, working your 9 to 5, and then after that you gotta, you know, try and go and look for clients or clientels or stuff like that, or go out and deliver posters or go fulfill some private orders, or maybe some business has contacted you personally and told you they want me to make some uniforms for them, which some people have, because obviously my stuff is all printed. So and then I have to go meet them to discuss how they want it to be, or sometimes over the phone. So I might spend 2-3 hours over the phone discussing just how they want the design to be, and then making, and then those ones I then have to physically go and deliver those ones, because obviously those are personalized, made, rather than just shopping on my site. So depends on the circle that you have or the people you have around you. They may not be able to understand that. So I have looked at it that it's not that people run away. Obviously sometimes there may be bad people who show their true colors, and so obviously you guys go your separate ways. But at the same time, I've looked at it as it could just be like you rightly said, that it could just be not their thing. But with time, when they see things developing or things changing, then they may come around. For me personally, I have had a mixture. I've had people who supported me a lot. I have from different people around, families, friends, even professional people, accountants, banks, and so on and so forth. At the same time, I've had people who haven't supported me in the way that I thought that they would, or people who would show interest, but really they're not showing interest. So, but I haven't looked at it as they're bad people or they're good people. I've just looked at it as I'm doing my thing, and technically it is my thing. So they just come in to support, or it just ain't fitting them. So that's why they're doing their own thing. The reason why I choose not to go on the path that they're bad mind, they're coming against me, because when you start thinking of people bad mind, which it may be the case, I'm not God, so I don't know, it may be the case, but the thing, when you start thinking about that, it's gonna put you down. And when you're starting something fresh, starting brand new, you need your vibe. You don't want to be thinking of, oh, my best friend Bob is now hating me. Like, you're not gonna be able to concentrate on that, on that gig you gotta do, or on that house you gotta clean, because you're gonna be thinking of, I thought Stacey and me and her were day one, from day one. Now she's in the house and she messed it up. Like,
where's these names coming from, bro?
You know where the names are coming from.
That is so true what you're saying. But I feel like with my business, I need a lot more support than both of you guys, because I'm constantly on the go. So I need that support. I need help all the time, And I really struggled. I really struggled, like what you're saying. I really struggled, like why is no one helping me, kind of thing. And I think at one point I got so down about it, and I was focusing on the negative rather than thinking yeah, I was. But you're so positive. That's why you just think like that straight away. It takes time.
That's what I'm saying. I think maybe, like I said, for me, obviously I didn't plan the specific thing, but because I already had a mindset from I guess maybe from birth that look, I need to have something else. I've always just had a drive that because it's going to be something else, I might be doing 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So just be aware that people may be able to cope with that, or they may not be able to cope with that. If they can, good. If they can't, don't use it to go against them. Just look at it as you're the one who's planning 4 or 5 things. And when you have that mindset constantly growing up, when you then eventually start something, it doesn't affect you, compared to if maybe, for example, if I just started this whole thought process, from last year, then I'll admit it would affect me. But because I didn't just start the thought process, although the business was just last year, because the thought process has been from Thy Kingdom Come, I just zone past, just do my thing.
So it's kind of like, it's like you're looking at it like, this is my journey.
Exactly.
If somebody wants to jump on board, then cool.
Fine. Yeah.
It's not their journey, it's my journey. So I can't really get mad at them for not wanting to.
Yeah. Because if you start looking at people to get mad at them, trust me, you're not gonna get anywhere, man. Because imagine your best friend, whoever that person may be, they just saying to you, oh, I'm gonna help you out. Like, for example, I'm gonna help you out with modeling your shirt for some advert or something like that, and the next thing they don't show up, you're just gonna be down. You're gonna be really, really down. For one, you're gonna be thinking about your business is messed, and then 2, you're gonna be thinking about the friendship. So that's two types of stuff you're gonna be thinking about. But if you just zoom past that and be like, okay, they're not turning up because they got work. Maybe they don't have work. Maybe they're just at home thinking, I'm going to mess up his business. But, you know, you just think about, they ain't sure, you know, look for the next person, you know, let's get this in. Yeah. You just keep it moving, just keep it moving. And then if you eventually meet, be like, hey, you know, you never made up, you never came for so and so. And they'll be like, you know, because of this, because of that, that's cool, that's fine. I ended up doing it with next person instead. You know, it's good. If you're still available, we could do the next one together. If they say yes, fine. If they mess up again, yeah, you keep moving. If they don't mess up, you know. And another thing I have come to find out is that along the journey, because it's a continuous journey, people start to then see what's going on. So at the start, you may have people who may say, oh yeah, I'll look at your site, or oh yeah, can you do this for me, or oh yeah, can you do that, or and nothing happens. Yeah. No one is posting nothing. No one ain't doing nothing. But when they see that consistency, like I'll give an example. When I first started, obviously, because my stuff's all online, obviously I market it online. Besides like my immediate family and one or two friends, I hardly saw any likes. And I know some people who were not feeling it at all, but they were just like, you know, because it's my person, let me just, you know, put a like to it. Because obviously that's a good thing about, you know, social media. Like, you get to see who's liking you, you know? And then obviously minus the strangers, obviously, you know, I appreciate them. But in terms of your own people, but what you then see is that over time, as time has progressed and the thing is still going on, you then start seeing friends or families or other people, then more of them start coming on and start liking and start making comments. They start even buying, and you know, and then you'd be like, okay, so you know, so that's why I say it's a continuous journey. They may not have seen it at the start, but they may not have been into it, or maybe they might have been preoccupied with their own journey. But because of the consistency of what you're doing, they're all now like, you know, let's chip into this.
I like the way you think.
Yeah. All right, let me first spot it in the words. I'm gonna bring some negativity to your positivity, right? Right? So listen, yeah. I want to give you a scenario, yeah.
Okay.
You say, yo, O'Neill, yeah, I've got this clothing line that I've just started, yeah. Could you just help me out? Could you buy one of my tops? And I say to you, how much is it? And you say the top's £20. I say, boy, I ain't really got that right now. Still, I can't afford it. I see the nah, I can't afford that. And you say, all right, cool, we accept it. Then the next day now, I got a brand new top, and it's like, I don't know, Nike or something, yeah? And you're like, that's a nice top. When did you get that? And I say, I got it yesterday, you know, £50 still. How do you? Right, that's the first part, yeah. What's your reaction to that? And then the second part, which was to all of you, was similar scenarios where, you know, let's say Kerry-Anne, you know, oh, I've got my cleaning business, but then the person doesn't want to do it with you, but then they go and get someone else. But that person's your friend, but they'll get, oh, I need a cleaner, like, oh, I need a cleaner for my place, and you say, that's happened. Look, I'm doing it, right? And then they say, okay, yeah, actually, I want to go with someone else. How do you react to that? How does that make you feel?
I'll go first, and since you asked me first, I'll say for me, I look at it as everyone's got their own taste. So this is how I've looked at it. I got my stuff. You don't get my stuff. For example, you've gone to get Nike. I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. Nike is a well-known brand. You know, it's. I'm not competing with them. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe someday, but definitely not right now. So I try to be realistic. If you've gone for that because it's the brand you're comfortable with, the brand you know with, and stuff like that, that's fine. I'll just simply say, well, what have they got that I don't have? And let me see if I got something similar to that, or I got something that to get you over. If you give me something to work with, I could work with that and then let you know, and obviously see that it fits in within.
What if I tell you I like the top, but I just don't have the money? But obviously I've got the money.
So what I would say to that is, me personally, I don't beef people. I'll just be like, look, if that's you and doing your thing, that's fine by me.
You're too sad, like.
Because it's true. Because look at it, at the end of the day, right? You're my person, yeah. You know, my thing is, you like it. It's even cheaper, but you've then decided to go for something else. I could sit down and think of so many bad things that, as to the reason why you've done that.
Yeah.
Or, and I'll be stressing myself, sitting down, right, thinking about you when you're chilling in your bed, probably having a bottle of Stella, or, chilling with your missus, or, living your life, living your best life. And I'm going to be sitting there thinking, O'Neill didn't buy my shirt for 20 quid, and he bought a knife for 50 quid. I'm going to be sitting there cracking my head for no reason. No. See, I live a life, I do my best to live a stress-free life. I'm not going to sit there debating when I could use that time to think of a new design or think of a new item I want to sell. Then sit down and be thinking about you and what you did or what you didn't do. I just look at it as, fine, you didn't get my stuff, that's fine. I'll just simply look at it as, okay, what can I improve on to get people like you? And if you give me some, fine. If you don't give me that, you just say no, just simply because you just wanted to, you didn't have the money for my 20 quid, but you had the money for the 50 quid. Hey, that's fine. I think you grow, based on your background and your environment, you grow a thick skin. And if you want to get into business, I would guarantee say that you need to get and develop a thick skin, because you're gonna have customers that are difficult, and those customers that are difficult includes the situation that you've just said, because technically you are a potential customer. You're a potential customer who's seen my brand and has gone for a different brand. It's no different from another customer who has seen my brand and has a complaint to make. It's just that customer's complaint is directed at me. Your complaint is directed away from me, in the sense that you're buying someone else's item. So that's how I say it. I'll just look at it as, look, I need to up my game and try and get people like you. Hopefully you tell me why. If it's just simply the money, I'm not gonna go put a shirt for £50 and compete with Nike, because I ain't at that level. Let's be realistic. So I'll just look at it as, you've done what you've had to do and you're living your best life about it. So I'm not gonna be stalking, thinking about you. No. So that's how I'll do it. I'll just tell you, look, good luck and good on you, and give me some more details so I can improve. If you ain't gonna give me nothing, I'll just be cool. I'll just keep thinking on how to improve, and how what I'll then start doing is, based on the fact that I know you, or rather I did know you, think of the kind of person you are, and then potentially start thinking of people like you and how I can attract them. What kind of things? So for example, maybe it might be like, okay, you like shirts, black shirts. So I was thinking, okay, he likes black shirts, he likes, all those anime stuff. So perhaps I should start looking at designing black shirts with anime. And if I design enough, because those and market it well enough, perhaps I might attract you, or I might attract people like you. So yeah, I may not get your 20 quid, but I could get someone else's 20 quid that's similar to you. So that's how I would go about it anyway.
Okay, we're running kind of short on time, so I'm gonna just come to a close with this question, right? Mates rates. Do you believe in it? Okay, so Kerry-Anne, you got your price. Let's give a hypothetical, okay?
Yeah.
I'm looking for a cleaner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you tell me that it's £200. And then I say to you, all right, cool, but obviously I know you in it. So we saying £100, yeah? What's your views on that?
It's not happening. No, I don't mind giving mates rate, but it depends on the job and how hard it is and how long it's taken me, the products that I've had to use. I calculate all of that before I can even think about giving mates rate. This is hard work. It's really, really hard work. So, and I also feel like, if my friend has a business, I want to pay the full amount to support my friend. So I feel like they should also pay to support me. But I mean, I would do it, but I'm just saying, like, I would want to pay more to support my friend. So I think everyone should just have that mentality anyway.
Tyrone, you're a bit more experienced. What's your views on mates?
I don't do mates rates at all.
Yes.
Not at all. Yes. Do you know? It's the way I look at things, right? Is that like mates rates. When you think about it, somebody's paying. You might not be paying, but I'm going to be paying, and that's not going to be productive for my business or able for me to actually maintain my company. So it's almost like mates rates is not supporting the business at all. Or when I go to other people, I want to pay them full price to make sure that I'm helping, you know, I'm supporting, I'm not impacting their cash flow in a negative way. So I don't believe in mates rates. And also, do you know what it is as well? If you create a product which is good enough anyway for the service, like the service that you're providing, if it's good enough anyway, then really there should be no need for mates rates. Do you know what I mean? As long as you're competitively priced along with all the other companies that are doing what you're doing. So I don't see the need for mates rates at all.
I agree with you.
Sorry, what do you say?
Do you think it's insulting that somebody would even?
No, I don't take anything personal. So I don't really focus on leading people. I just focus on following what I follow, and then people will naturally come towards you. So obviously, like first God, firstly, then after God, like I follow where I want my business to go, and I'll look at the people that's coming to my events, to my shows, and my first thing is looking at retaining the people that are coming, then looking at the people that ain't coming as a whole rather than individually. So looking at the people that want like discounts, that want cheaper tickets, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can actually put on something that's more catered towards them, in a certain respect with regards to like what type of artist, what type of venue, the type of like show length, things like that, rather than actually trying to, you know, trying to offer them like half price discounts and stuff like that. I don't do that.
Cool.
And I don't find it insulting either. It's not personal.
Okay, so with the last 5 minutes here, I want you guys to really plug your companies now, your business. Okay, plug yourself. This is your opportunity to let whoever's watching be aware of what you do, what you can offer. So let's start with Kerry-Anne.
Oh boy.
I'm
cringe.
I didn't even prepare for a speech, you know. You should have told me about this.
Okay, so Cora Care, based in Bristol. So I not only do cleaning, I do caring, and I also do meal preps. So I do like healthy meals for people that who are too busy to look after themselves, basically. So if you're a bachelor, you know, and you want a second mom, holler at me, you know. I'll make all your meals, I'll clean your house, I'll wash your clothes. I do everything that you don't want to do.
Is there a website?
Yeah, website is cora.care, and same on Instagram. KORA.CARE. Yeah, cool. That's it.
Cool. And Tyrone?
So I run the Whole 9 Bars. We're a live concert and events company. So we got our first show back, which is going to be in November. Fingers crossed on Corona. So that's something to look forward to. Also, we run a bag line called Amshella. At the moment, we're in 22 stockists, and we're stocked in London, Chelsea, and also in Beverly Hills, and we just got into Wolf and Badger as well. So yeah, great bags. Go support, check them out. But yeah, and the website is www.whole9bars.com. Yeah, you kind of caught me off guard with that one. I need some time to prepare.
Any socials at all?
Instagram, whole9bars.com. I'm Shella also, and we're accepting crypto, so we're going to be one of the first event companies that's going to be accepting crypto as a form of payment for tickets as well. So that's something that's going to be launching within the next 4 weeks.
Okay. Nice. And Melus, where can I buy that top that you're wearing? Where can I buy that?
You can get this from the site. So basically my site is www.pvf2020.com. It's clothing and accessories, print on demand brand, and we sell clothing as well as accessories, so mugs, water bottles, a bit of wall art, posters, and it's unisex, so for both men, women, obviously, and some kid lines as well, some babies as well. I'm clearly just amming because I didn't actually prepare for this, but Yeah, that is basically it, and it's all about positive vibes. So it's all about just me bringing out myself in a clothing line, and hopefully that there are lots of people out there who are obviously looking for a bit of positivity and can relate to the clothing. And and we've got an advert coming out soon, which I'm currently working on with a great team, and that is it. Obviously, we're on social media, Instagram, so it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok as well, as all PVF 2020. And yeah, we're going good. I think this is a very poor pitch, right? But hey,
right. You guys, I'm gonna give you.
Can I just add that I do deep cleans, endotones cleans, sparkle cleans. I do film set cleans, COVID cleans. All your cleans you can think of. Come on down to Cora Care, baby.
I was gonna say, give me an elevator pitch as to why should I go for Cora Care? 20 seconds.
Because I'm amazing. You get me. Look at me. Come on. Get this amazing personality. Okay, so all my girls, all my staff, I pick my staff based on their personality. Because I think anyone can clean, but you have to have a really nice personality. You gotta be able to talk to anyone, And we come with the positive vibes, like Mr. Melus down there.
Right, your 20 seconds.
No.
Tyrone, you got 10 seconds. You got 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Wise?
Because we focus on connecting people and creating experiences and user interaction. So we just want to make every event as special as possible. And yeah, they're all individual. So yeah, come on down, I guess.
Fantastic. All right, so for all that's been watching, this has been Melanin Mindset.
Did I get my 10 seconds or 5
seconds? 10 seconds.
You had your time. You were talking.
Yeah.
Nah, it's gonna cut off. It's gonna cut
a bit of discrimination going on here, But yeah, I'm just all about positive vibes, man.
All right, cool. So, look, I just want to thank all of you for your time. I want to thank all of you for your insight, and I'm wishing you all the best. Melus, stay positive with positive vibes. Kerry-Anne, keep going strong. And Tyrone, same to you. Keep going strong. Is there any plans that you have for the future that you haven't stated already? Big plans.
I'm keeping mine a secret.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't even say really.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nah, that's good. That's good. It's good to know that
few.
there's something in the pipeline though. There's something coming up. So yeah, that's more of an insight. Yeah. That's more of an incentive and more of a reason for us to pay attention and keep watching what you're doing. So once again, to everyone that's watched Kerry-Anne, is there any plans? I know you on the big film sets. You're gonna be cleaning the set of like Bad Boys 4 or something.
Oh God, no, honey. Obviously, I don't want to clean forever. That's not it. So I plan to let the company run itself. To run itself. So I don't want to be cleaning. Not for me. Okay. That's the only plan I have. This is the secret.
Fair enough. All right. So to all that's been watching, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, or good night. It's been Melanin Mindset. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.